Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is... what's going on? Are we live? What's going on? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and the Bag show for Thursday morning, March 29th. Of course, this is the first day of MLB regular season, and you know, it's fun, it's exciting, but for people like Jimmy and I who make official picks and keep track of our records and keep religious track of our records and are super honest, which pretty much means that we're the only ones in the entire world to do that, I think. No, I'm kidding around, but the pressure's on. You know what I'm saying?
The pressure's on.
Because we can't just throw a couple picks out there and win or lose, move on, and ignore it. I mean, if we start embarrassing ourselves, this is going to be 6 months of hell. On the other hand, if we do our homework and if we do a good job and if we're smart and if we don't get suckered in by the sports betting traps that they throw out to us every day, it could turn into 6 months of glory, Jimmy the Bag.
Yes, it could.
Either one could happen.
It could be the worst 6 months of my life.
Yes.
I could barely sleep.
Yes.
I'm very pale. Start using heroin.
It could be 6 months, and that shit actually does work. I would recommend codeine, low dose codeine, which you can buy over the counter here in Costa Rica. All right, Jimmy the Bag. We've got the MLB. I know that Jimmy the Bag says he's got some MLB picks that he's already bet and liking from today's card. Big news from yesterday, which is a little bit under the radar. I kicked ass in everything. Did you notice that, Jimmy the Bag?
I paid no attention to it.
6-0 in college basketball. Jeez. I had a winning day in NHL as well, and I even had a kick-ass day in the NBA too. Nice. I wound up hitting everything in NBA except for one play. We knew what that one would be, the Cavs on the first quarter. We even knew that after I took them on the first quarter, they would very likely cover the first half. I mean, this has just been the story of my life in NBA, basically for my whole life and for this season. How the hell do you take the Cavaliers, who are terrible ATS, and the one game where they actually win on the road outright and cover the first half, you still come away with a loss?
I feel like an asshole. Every time a team loses by 30 points, they come back and play well. But for whatever reason, I gotta just blindly take every team that loses by 30 if they're not tanking.
No, but I took a loss on that one because I had them on the first quarter. They lost the first quarter. They covered the first half. I mean, it's just something. It's like the universe is just telling me, Pete, stay away from NBA. Not second halves. I do great on second halves. So sometimes telling me, it's saying stay away from second half full games because it's just I'm snake bit. Even when the Cavs cover, I make a decision on which exact quarter to bet them on, and that's the one quarter they fucking lose. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I had a bad day in NHL, a good enough day in NBA, and then I added on a late through Trevor Holt. Trevor Holt pushed me into taking the over in Northern Colorado about 20 minutes before tip-off.
Did you tweet that out?
I tweeted out as a bet, but I didn't. There was not enough time. I was really panicky last night.
Okay.
Very, very panicky thinking about the baseball season. So,
yes, because once again, everything I tweet out is added onto my official records, and anything Jim tweets out where he hashtags low bag, he will that'll be added onto his official record, right, Jim?
That's right.
All right, yeah. So once again, Tomor says I had the Cavs on the first quarter too. The Cavs clear-cut right side, but they started slow. Unbelievable. Yeah, once again, everything. I kicked ass in the NBA. All my team total unders, Cavs. The Knicks team total under, that one cash. Dallas team total under, that one cash. The Nets cash first half and full game. So Jay Peach was the right side, yes.
Yeah. All game long. They were in control all game long.
Jay Peach yesterday went up directly against Tomor. Jay Peach said that, he predicted a double-digit win, which didn't quite happen, but he said the Nets were the right side. Tomor said they were the trap of the day. And much respect to Tomor, but on just that one game, Jay Peach came out on the right side. I was on that side as well. And overall, it was a huge day for me yesterday, Jimmy the Bag.
Double-digit units, I'm imagining.
Yeah, my main account went up like 50% yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not even kidding. I got a couple of if parlays. I like to do if parlays sometimes, but all right. So let's see, what do we have here? Oh, and the one thing we did have a loss on though was the Caps game. I had them on the first period, which cashed on the over, but then the full game, the scoring really slowed down. And once again, another huge underdog casher for Arizona. Unbelievable, right, Jimmy the Bag?
Absolutely.
I had them on the first period. Not too bad. But I've been on that Arizona train and not added as many units as I really should have because they have been cashing at a price game in and game out, Jim.
Yeah, I just made a mess of the Golden Knights all year. I mean, I stayed off that game, but I just made a mess of it all year. I'm surprised that it hasn't affected my units more.
All right, Anthony L says, you're not the only one snake bit in the NBA, Pete. Yes, absolutely right. Let me just do a quick save, and we got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's get into the games today. Once again, what we are going to do is, because MLB is starting, we're gonna focus on every sport. Don't worry about that. But Jim's going to focus on MLB on the day games in today's show. We are going to touch on NHL and NBA. I do have a couple plays in NHL that I'm really liking, actually, quite a bit, Jimmy the Bag. And then, of course, in the afternoon show, we'll focus on the rest of the MLB games, and we'll take a look at MLB and NBA and NHL and all that. So we're going to cover, what I'm trying to say is we're going to cover all sports in all shows. But we're probably going to have emphasis on certain sports based on the scheduling, right, Jim?
Yes, and definitely based on the day games and all that stuff. Yes. And also, there's just a ton of excitement going into the baseball season, so I wasn't going to...
There is, and once again, one other thing we're going to do, we're going to be reading tweets, to a couple tweets that have come in. We're going to be reading and addressing tweets. We're doing that just in today's show. I don't know if it's going to be, we're going to be starting that next week, but we'll see. It'll be, just like a fun little thing. There's nothing wrong with having a little fun in life. You know what I'm saying, Jim? Read a couple tweets live and answer them live in your show, right, Jim?
Over-the-counter codeine?
Nothing wrong with having a little fun in life, Jimmy the Bag. Jesus Christ, MLB's got my brain exploding right now, Jim. I'm trying to hold it together, but deep down inside, I'm not holding it together. And I think it's written all over my face. All right, Jimmy the Bag, let's go. All right. Jim Tobelson says, let's get it going. Let's start with college basketball. We're just going to quickly touch on that right now. NIT final tonight. And, I normally wouldn't really be having a play on this one, but I am kind of thinking that Utah getting 4 points is just a little bit too many. Utah obviously was the play against Western Kentucky yesterday. Penn State's a very impressive team, right?
They sure
My
are.
sense is Utah is probably almost close to being just as impressive. That 7-footer Dave Collette looks like he's fine, as far as rebounding is concerned. Feels like it's going to go down to the wire. Feels like it's sort of not a no-brainer play, but like a why not play. If you have two, if Penn State was getting 4, I'd be gone beyond them. You know what I'm saying? It feels like a game's going to go down to the wire. Why not take the team giving you a 4-point cushion, Jim?
Yeah, I get it.
I'll take it. I'll take it as an official play. It's not anywhere close to the plays I was liking yesterday. Again, this is just a why not play. It feels like a game is going to go down to the wire. Why not take the team that's giving you a 4-point cushion? So I'll take that one. Utah +4, -110. I might pull it in the 6 o'clock show if it turns out that there's injuries for Utah, but as of right now, they seem okay. And I'm going to make that one an official pick. It is official pick in college basketball. Utah +4, -110. Jimmy the Bag, all right?
I like it.
Now let's move on to MLB. The first MLB card of the I'm feeling pretty nervous, so I'll start out by saying I was going to give Detroit today, but that game got rained out, right? Let's move on to MLB. Now, Jimmy the Bag told me off camera or in the little Twitter video that he has 6 picks on today's card. That's kind of interesting. I looked at today's card. I have like 1 or 2 that I think I'm liking. Let me see if I can guess what Jimmy the Bag's 6 picks are. Let me see. What are the 6 biggest favorites on the card? Cubs, that's a big one. I'm guessing that's one of his picks. Dodgers with Clayton Kershaw, massive favorite. I'm guessing that's one of his picks. Boston with Chris Sale, that's got to be one. Houston with Verlander, that's got to be one. So those are 4 picks I'm predicting are your picks here, Jimmy the Bag. Am I right or am I right?
You got 3. You got 1.
Really? Okay. I can guarantee you that the one that I got right, I was just kidding around there. I know which one I got right. Got to be the Houston Astros.
No, not at this point.
Really?
That has 3 question marks beside it. Mm-hmm. And I just think that some of these vets will have arm strength. I know Kobe was just talking, I believe it was Kobe was just talking about how Lester's velocity is down to 90 miles an hour. But I think even though they don't ramp up at this point, I think that Hamels might be able to show us something early in the year. Verlander had a monster spring, and we can talk about that game when we get there.
Sure.
At this point, that's not one of my official picks.
Okay, I was just kidding, right? I just like to make jokes about just saying to any handicapper, oh, you love to take favorites. You know what I'm saying? Or Roger Clemens, remember he was a -400 favorite. Randy Johnson. All right, let's see. All right, so let's see. I'm just doing a quick save here. Well, I'll tell you the one. Okay, so let's start with obviously the one game that. Noah Syndergaard, right? Beast, Thor, Aryan God, Noah Syndergaard. He looks like he's 100%.
He's clearly looks like he's 100%. How long that will last when you're throwing 101 is a question mark.
And when you're throwing vicious sliders, but for the first 5 innings of this game, I don't care who you're going up against. When Noah Syndergaard is 100%, how do you not take him? And at just -130.
Exactly. I'm on Syndergaard.
Really?
Carlos Martinez is a pitcher that I don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
I had trusted his whole career. I stopped trusting him last year. We joke. I mean, he has herpes. We make jokes about it. We don't know when the flare-ups will come. There's certain things that I don't really trust with Carlos Martinez, character-wise. Syndergaard looked like an absolute beast. First 4 starts last year, 1.73 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 0 walks. Then he tore his right lat. All preseason, all spring, 101 miles an hour. 4 Grapefruit League starts, 1.35 ERA. We know the Mets have a very capable bullpen. Very, very capable.
Yes.
Familia, Ramos, Blevin, Swarzak could all see chances based on matchups. Now they add Frazier and Bruce. Big bad additions to Cespedes. Nemo will fill in for Conforto fine. And to Martinez, I just don't trust him anymore. Did not look good in the spring. 9 innings pitched, 4.82 ERA, 1.82 WHIP. He's one of those guys that you would know, just character-wise, would not take it seriously. Struck out 11, walked 7. They brought in Ozuna. Gregerson's hurt. Dominic Leone from the Jays will help. The big question is Paul DeJong and Colton Wong. Can they continue where they left off? They believe DeJong can protect Ozuna in the lineup. I don't believe he can. I think that's a mistake. I think that's putting too much pressure on him. A lot to ask from a second-year shortstop. Carpenter and Ozuna were the only ones with OPS over 1,000 this spring. Yes, I'm on the Mets.
All right.
Money line.
Now, this is going to happen all MLB season long. Trust me, Jim. But in the meantime, lots of comments. I'm sure you're aware of this.
Yeah.
Everyone's against you, which is a little bit surprising. Anthony L. Cards plus 130. I'm liking. There's like 10 opinions coming in saying that they like the Cards. Campsite Killer says Redbirds get the win. Well, here we go. Joseph Gomez says home pick as a small dog. Let's see what else we have. And Flipper says I'm on the under first 5 under at 3.5. But everyone liking St. Louis. Dennis Garcia, STL Moneyline. Chef Big Hat, Cards today. Robbie Tagaloa on the Cards. Campsite Killer, Cards today. Justin Searcy, Cards baby. Greg Schneider, St. Louis Moneyline. Look at this. Bud Nino, 87. Give me the Cards still. Maxwell Smart, 420. Cardinals. Punisher, 23 likes the under in the Mets game. Vince Harlan, fade the Mets. Joseph Gomez, where are the Mets bats? Wow. An explosion of support for the Cardinals.
I'm very thankful what you told me before I left.
Yes.
About how people were going to always be, there's going to be a ton of people against you. And it's just not like other sports. And I realized that just from the crew that I run with, seeing their picks and being on the other side of a ton of them. So, yes, I understand the situation. Understand it well, and it's not going to concern me like it does in other sports when I desperately need this chat, whom I respect so much.
Yes.
I desperately need a chat to be with me, but not today.
Well, here you go. Arthur Mee Jr. says, I like the Mets. That's interesting. Jose Ruiz says, I got the Cardinals. And Arthur Funches says, I'm on the Mets at the half. Oh, here you go, Trevor Holt. This is a nice sign here. I'm with you, Jim, on the Mets money line. It's interesting how the disagreement comments come cascading in first, and the agreement comments come in cascading second. And then Fade the Fool says, best show ever. What? All right, now we got to stop everything to read a tweet. All right, so no more baseball handicapping. Now we're going to read a tweet, folks. Please don't click off. After we read the tweet, we will be back to baseball handicapping. This is just what we have to do. Okay, Clint Maximus in 3D says, hashtag Lowbag, if you guys could own a professional sports team, which one would it be and why? I think this is a very good question to cut off MLB handicapping with. I would research which city has the most MILFs, and that would be it. Maybe San Diego. I don't know which MLB city, which city has the most MILFs in the United States or Canada.
I would look in Europe. I would look in Spain.
Okay. Yeah, very nice.
Spanish
MILFs.
Nice.
Yes.
Spanish MILFs.
Okay. Jimmy the Bag would look in Spain. All right, should we move on? Do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I think I would like to own
the Canucks, right?
No, man. I don't want to live in Vancouver anymore,
okay.
man. I think I would like to own Barcelona.
Okay, there's your answers. I would search for whichever city in the world has the most MILFs, and that's the professional sports team that I would choose. And Jim would choose Barcelona. Right?
Yeah, man.
All right.
I think that'd be a nice place to live.
Okay, let's get back to MLB handicapping, shall we, Jim?
Let's do it.
All right, there will be another tweet coming up in about 20 minutes, and we will address that one when it comes in. All right, so MLB. Let's see.
I'm on the Mets money line, and I'm not afraid.
You want it, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Best line week. The least we can do for you here is line shop a little bit. Minus 130. This is a classic situation with the way MLB works. We're going to give you minus 128 at the Greek. Line shopping at SBR odds, folks. No sport is it more important than baseball. Classic example right here. What did I tell you? I told you that if you line shop and use money lines, you can get close to zero vig on money lines. And right now, not including like 5 dimes and not including like the Heritage 5-cent lines. Right now, if you want the Mets, you could get minus 128 at the Greek. And if you want the Cards, you get plus 126 at Pinnacle. That's a 2-cent MLB line there on MLB money line. So what you have to do is have multiple outs. Go to sportsbookreview.com to read up on all the books to make sure you're happy with the books you're signing up at, and use sbrodds.com to compare the lines, and you can get close to zero vig juice on MLB money lines, Jim.
Yeah, and that's what we got to look for and find.
Minus 128. All right, let me tell you about one play I'm thinking about. Aaron Nola, obviously, last year impressed us all, right? He's pretty much the real deal. Any reason to believe Aaron? Do you have anything in your notes that says Aaron Nola is not the real deal, Jim?
No, I believe, his fastball is only 93. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he needed to use this curveball. It's his best pitch. Mm-hmm. 30% of the time, opponents hit 172 off of it. But, yeah, I mean, I would prefer he threw 96 or 97. And if he's throwing 93 right now, what's he going to throw in 5 years?
Yeah.
I think he's a real deal.
I'm willing to bet that I'm willing to bet. Hold on one second. I'm willing to bet that Aaron Nola has a decent game, and I'm thinking about the Atlanta team total under. Atlanta first 5 innings team total under, and Atlanta maybe just on the first 5 innings. Although Tehran, was terrible at home last year. Was that fluky or was there something to it? I think probably a little bit of both. He's looking pretty good in spring training, right? Do you have any?
He's looking great in spring training, and I think it was fluky.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I truly think it was fluky.
All right, I think I might take the first 5 innings under on that one and the Atlanta team total under on that one. While I search for the lines, why don't you give us a few bullet points on your opinions on that game, Jim?
I'm on the full game under.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. He looked excellent in spring, Tehran. 25.2 innings, 1.40 ERA, 0.97 whip. He spoke a lot about what happened last year, 5.86 ERA at 17 home starts compared to 3.14 ERA and 15 road starts. And he talked very maturely, which is something that I haven't always seen from him. I think he's growing. I think he's ready for this. This is his 5th consecutive opening day start. He's allowed 2 runs or fewer and completed at least 6 innings in each of the previous 4 starts. Now, he's going up against what looks like is going to be a very good Phillies team. They believe they're past the rebuilding phase. They saw that with Arrieta and Santana signings. I agree. Nola is a special pitcher. Special pitcher, and he's been great against the Braves, which may or may not mean something to people. But he looked very good this spring. 18 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, 3 walks. They're expecting big things from Rhys Hoskins. Scott Kingery had a monster spring. He may or may not be an opening day lineup, but he's going to be a beast moving forward. And Achuna is not going to be there until April 14th. Yes, I am on the under full game.
All right, I'm going to take the first half under, which is 4.5 minus 115. That is at Intertops. I would obviously agree with the full game under as well. Let's find the best line for you. I did see some 8.5.
I did see some too.
Yep. There you go. 8.5. Line shopping here. Once again, another thing, SBRodds.com. In MLB totals, if you're betting MLB totals all the time, you're going to have split lines, 8 and 8.5, 9 and 9.5. Very important to line shop also with totals in MLB. SBRodds.com, sportsbookreview.com. All right, we can give you 8.5 minus 118. How about that, Jim?
I'll take it.
All right, Jim's going to take the Atlanta game under 8.5 minus 118. Here we are, Jim. The roller coaster has started. How does it feel? The MLB roller coaster has started, already making these scratching head decisions. Should we take the full game under? Should we take the first half under? Should we take the team total
I'm going to double up on this game.
Really?
Yes, I'm going to double up on this game. What time does it start? Because I need to send
this game starts. We are on the MLB roller coaster as we speak right now. This one starts 4 p.m. Eastern time. Jimmy the Bag.
Okay, perfect. I'm also going to take the first 5 under.
Jimmy the Bag trying to jackpot it. I'm also on that one. Atlanta first half under 4.5. First half under 4.5 minus 115. First half under 4.5 minus 115. I might double up on that one as well. And I'm thinking about just taking the Atlanta team total under, which I did bet at 4 minus 130. Right now, Pinnacle is showing a 3.5 plus 102. Jim, when you like this under, it's not just that you think Nola's great. It's that you also expect.
I expect great things from Tehran this year. I expect great things right off the start. The way he's talking is the most mature I've heard him talk.
Really?
He's comfortable in this spot. I think he's going to be a leader in this clubhouse. They got a ton of youth. I expect him to have a big season.
And I took the Atlanta team total under at 4 minus 130 when at Pinnacle earlier. Now it's down to a 3.5. All right, I'm going to think about whether I want to double up on this one or not. While I think about that, Jim, why don't you hit us with another pick you're liking here, Jim?
Well, let's get to this Cubs game because it's going off in like 14 minutes, I believe. Now, this is the one big favorite I've got in my lineup on my card today. I'm taking the Cubs minus 1.5.
Oh, shit.
Lester went 13-8, 4.22 ERA, 1.32 WHIP last year, but I also saw him saying the right things last year for the first time. I felt like in his whole career he's been saying the wrong things, except when he was dealing with cancer and all that. He said the right thing. But he allowed a career high 26 homers. His velocity is decreased, but it's another year with Wilson Contreras, and this lineup was just smashing in the preseason. They're another year older, another year together. Bryant, Rizzo, Schwarber, Happ, Contreras all had OPSs over 1,000. Happ led the team in the spring with 7 homers. Urena is, I know that Ace Farmer really is high on Urena, says he could win a Cy someday. And I'm not saying that that's ridiculous or anything like that, but I need to see more from him. These young guys don't seem to take spring training. I mean, everybody takes spring training differently. He looked really bad. 10 innings, walked 8, struck out 8, 6.10 ERA, 1.84 WHIP. The only guys on this team that could hit lefties are gone. Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich, Gordon. I just think this is you can't replace these guys with Castro and Maben. They have one player with no PS over 1,000 this spring, and Derek Dietrich. Justin Bour is a good player, but he hit 0 homers in 19 at-bats. They've got injuries they're dealing with, the Marlins too. I don't think the Marlins are quite as bad as everyone's saying, but without Real Muto, without Prado, they got Straley, Wai-Yin Chen, Ellington, Riddle all on the disabled list. Mattingly says it gives them some challenges, not how we wanted to start the season. I'm going to take the Cubs minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. Okay, let's find the other run line here for the Cubs for Jimmy the Bag here. Minus 1.5. Minus 1.5. Minus 120 at Pinnacle. Jim's going to take the Cubs minus 1.5. Minus 120 at the current line at Pinnacle. Also, with regard to run lines, you want a line shot. All right? SBRodds.com. SBRodds.com. Let's see. Yeah, and if you're using 5 dimes, which you absolutely should, right now you have zero vig juice on this one. You could have the Cubs at minus 1.5, minus 120, and the Miami plus 1.5 at plus 120. So there you go, a 0 vig line here if you're using 5 dimes, and if, of course, you have access to Pinnacle, which our brothers in the United States do not have because they voted for the wrong people. Congratulations, assholes. Now you don't have Pinnacle. All right, now let's the baseball, the roller coaster is here, Jimmy the Bag. It's starting. It's fun. It's fun.
It will be fun if I'm positive.
Yes. And I'm feeling okay right now because I really do like this under. And I think I might double up on it with you, Jim. While I think about whether I want to double up on it, why don't you hit us with another pick, Jimmy Bag?
I'm on the San Diego Padres. I'm going to fade Chase Anderson to start the season. I don't believe he's capable of what he did last year. Both teams made major acquisitions in the offseason. We know the Brewers are going to be a very difficult offensive team to face. Yelich was a big pickup. Kane was a big pickup. The Padres have Hosmer. Both these guys are opening day starters for the first time. Clayton Richards, old guy. He's going to be able to handle it fine. Now, Chase was a beast last year. No getting around it. 12-4, 2.74 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. He missed 6 weeks with the oblique strain, 133 strikeouts, 141 innings, 8 career starts against the Padres. I don't really care about those stats. Craig Counsell said he's gone from a 2-pitch to a 4-pitch arsenal, even added 2 miles on his fastball. He got touched for 4 homers in the spring. I feel like that's a sign of things to come. 15.2 innings, he pitched 4 homers, 5.74 ERA, but his whip was fine, 1.21. We know, I know that everybody's going to be against me on the chat. I get it. Brewers have a potent offense. 5 starters had no PS over 1,000 in the spring. Braun was at 983. Clayton Richard has reinvented himself. After having this thoracic outlet surgery, he's changed his arsenal as well as his delivery. 6'5", 240-pounder. I expect him to have a better year than last year. In 12 innings this spring, he had a 1.08 whip. I expect him to play better. The Brewers were good against lefties last year. I just think this Padres offense is much improved. Their infield defense is much improved. I'm going to take a home dog here.
All right, plus 108. I do want to get to a lot of great comments that are coming in. A lot of people are liking the Cubs. Fade the Fool says Marlins have no shot. Tomino says the Marlins bullpen has killed me in the past, and Urena doesn't pitch deep. I'd only bet them first 5. Dizzy Dez, welcome Dizzy Dez, leaning under in the Cubs game. That's pretty interesting. Mr. Goxer says Miami has no bats. Elio Rodriguez says Marlins know they suck. There's no pressure to start fast equals value. Billy Bloodbath says Miami has no offense. Some other comments that are interesting. Yes, Greg Schneider also likes the under in the Cubs game. Interesting.
I think that's probably a pretty good play.
Twate Latte Brewers can mash. Trevor Holt likes the Brewers. All right, so people are going against you. Trevor Holt likes the Brewers. And someone else said that bad team. Here you go. Chef Big Hat. Chef Big Hat says really terrible teams have a way of pulling out wins first couple of weeks of the season. Cincinnati was leading the MLB after 2 weeks last year. Something to keep in mind, Chef Big Hat. Really terrible teams have a way of pulling out wins first couple weeks of the season since he was leading the MLB after 2 weeks last year. Kobe Valentine says Urena has pitched very well against the Cubs in the past. This Cubs team is worse than last year. It will be a low-scoring game. I say Miami wins 3-2. A lot of people seem to be liking the under in the Miami game, Jim.
I think that makes sense. I think that's probably a good play.
All right. Padres value. Brovada says Padres great value. See, here you go. Trevor Holt loves the Brewers. We respect him. Brovada says Padres great value. We respect him. This is how baseball goes, Jim.
The Brewers are going to be a great team this year.
Yes.
I just don't know if they're going to be off the start. I don't think Chase Anderson is the pitcher that we saw last year.
A lot of people liking the under in that one. Also, Hit Money says under in Boston game. Is that a game that you're thinking about the under? Obviously, with Sale and Archer, we would be thinking under maybe. What do you think, Jim?
For that game, no, I'm not taking the under there.
All right, hit us with another pick that you're liking, Jim.
Sure.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
We got to keep the brisk pace here.
Where is another pick? I'm sorry.
Yes. MLB.
Okay.
MLB. Jimmy the Bag.
I am doubling up on the White Sox-Royals game. I am on the Chicago White Sox.
I was too.
And I'm on the over. I am going to fade Danny Duffy. Now, when I say I'm going to fade these guys, obviously, if they throw a gem today, I'm going to, stop or rethink everything. But I plan to fade Danny Duffy every start at the beginning of the year. James Shields, I also believe, can pitch better. I think that he's another guy who can pitch better with arm strength. And even though it's the beginning of the year and some of these veterans wait a bit, I don't think he'll wait. I think he knows he needs to get off to a good start. Royals lost key contributors. Hosmer's gone. Kane's gone. Now they've lost Salvador Perez to a fucking luggage-carrying accident. Perez said, I feel sad. I don't. Raves did pick up Luka Duda, John Jay. They'll help. Danny Duffy had to battle all these injuries last year, and it's affected him. He's dealing with shoulder tightness right now. I do not believe he's the same pitcher that he was. He was touched all spring long. 4 homers he allowed in 15 innings. He had 12 Ks, 9 walks, 8.40 ERA, 1.87 WHIP. Merrifield, Perez, Duda, Moustakas, Cuthbert all had giant springs. Shields, though, I think can pitch okay. He had an average spring. I think that this is a White Sox team that's coming up with Moncada and Delmonico. Giolito and Lopez showed a lot of promise last year. I think Matt Davidson has a big year. Abreu and Avaseo will bring their bats to work.
Jansen Bonzone says, sorry, not with you, Jimmy, on this one. Kobe Valentine says Duffy is banged up as well. Justin Sergi says, already bet the White Sox. Scotty Rock Forever is shocked that we're talking about the White Sox. Jansen Bonzone says, no way, Jimmy Shields is bad. Dom Ricci says, love the White Sox. Twatty Latte loves the White Sox offense this year. Bonzone says fade Shields. Yes, you see, here's the thing. I took, this is a classic MLB situation. I did take the White Sox, Jim, in the plus 140s. And I was prepared to give them today, but now it's down to the plus 120s, and I don't know if I want to give them at that line. I definitely bet it at plus 140, 143, I think.
That's a great play. I'm not concerned about taking them here. Well, no, it's not that I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
I'm taking the White Sox here. Obviously, I have some concern.
Jim's going to take the White Sox on the money line, and that will be the best line chopping here at SBR Odds at UWager plus plus 124. Plus 124. No, bookmaker, plus 126. Sorry, plus 126. Jim's going to take White Sox at plus 126. And another thing we might have to do, Jim, is we might have to start tweeting out our picks, because if you want, beating these line moves is essential.
Yeah.
And, I'm definitely going to take advantage of this. If there's an MLB line that I want to lock in, I will tweet it out. And the line that will go on my official record will be the line that I tweet out, because the lines move. And this is a classic example. Last night, I didn't get the opener at plus 150, but I did bet it at plus 143, and I was prepared to give it anything in the plus 140s. Now I'm not sure about it at plus 126, but you are, Jim.
I am.
All right. What else would you like to do here, Jimmy?
I'm on the over on this game as well.
Okay, the over on this game. I would be vaguely agreeing with that one as well. Let me find the White Sox here. Best line shopping here would be 8.5 minus 119 at bookmaker. We'll give you that one. Let me make sure that's not a stale line. KC and White Sox 119. Oh, no, that is a stale line. All right, I'm going to refresh it, and I'll give it to you. Okay, hold on. We'll probably be able to give you an 8.5.
You know what? With this, I did agree. So there's talk about how Shields was better in the second half. I just couldn't give any stats to prove it, because post All-Star break, he still had an ERA over 5. But from an eye test, I know he was better in the second half of the year. We had tons of value on him in the second half of the year. He was a huge dog every time he pitched. And there's a reason, not just because he's a veteran, there's other reasons why they trust him to start this game and why they haven't cut him already.
Yeah. All right. We're going to give you the pinnacle line, 8.5 minus 120 on the over. And I'll be vaguely thinking about maybe a shot with the White Sox team total over at 4, but I'm going to hold off on that one for now. What else are you liking, Jim, as an official pick? And I decided, what the hell? I will throw on the full game under in the Philly Atlanta game as well with you, under 1.5, under 8.5 minus 118. I'll throw that one on there as well. Okay. What else are you liking, Jim?
Those are all my plays, but I've capped every game and would love to talk about them.
Okay, well, let's get some comments, because these comments are definitely very, very insightful. Let's see. Ski Prophet says, Pete, please start tweeting out your picks. All right, I did tweet out North Texas second half yesterday, which I really liked, and I liked that one. Let's see. What else do we have here? Mr. Gogster says, White Sox bats were alive during preseason. I could see a 7-3 win. Yes, I'm thinking about the White Sox team total over as well. King Rail likes the Twins plus 1.5. That's a nice pick there, King Rail. I was thinking about the Twins as well as a small underdog. Kevy K says, wait for the variance to settle down, then bet. Let's see. Flipper 13, smart guy, says White Sox good at plus 120 or better.
I like Flipper 13 too. I counted him on Twitter. I think
plus 120 or better. I got it at plus 143. Very, very nice. 143, Jimmy the Bag. Let's see. Other comments here. Wow, Mr. Gokser grabbed plus 155. Unbelievable.
Wow.
On the White Sox. Very nice job. Bradley Oliver liking the under in the White Sox. I predict 2-3 KC. Let's see. What else do we have? Dom Ricci likes the Mets under. And the White Sox under, and Philly. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. I'm just scanning comments here, because these comments are very important, and there's 15 games, way more games in MLB than ever in NBA and NHL. So it's going to be harder to get to all the comments here, Jim. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do. I just want to ensure that we get to like the Yankees-Jays game and stuff like that.
All right, get to the Yankees-Jays game, Jim. Get to the Yankees. Obviously, Severino, awesome. At first glance, it would seem that maybe the Yankees a teeny bit of a low line here, right? Even though they're on the road, even though J.A. Happ can be very effective, right?
Yankees are going to be a very tough team to play against, but they don't smash lefties. They hit him at 256 with a 757 OPS. Obviously, Stanton is going to improve that with a 1.026 OPS against left-handers. But they don't smash lefties, and I don't really know if there's value on either side, unless you're going to take the dog here. And I'm just going to lay off this game. Obviously, even Drury and Neil Walker were good pickups, and Neil Walker's going to help them hit lefties. They already have the best bullpen in baseball. If you're a Yankees fan, you're likely to have a wonderful, wonderful season watching baseball. Severino looks awesome. He looked awesome in spring training. You could easily trust him, but he's never defeated the Jays. 0-3 with a 5.52 ERA in 7 games, which includes 6 starts. He was 0-1 with a 4.97 ERA in 2 starts against the Blue Jays in 2017. With some of these young pitchers, that can get in your head. Blue Jays first baseman Justin Smoke smashes him. He's got 2 home runs and 5 RBIs and 12 at-bats against Severino. Judge Gregorio Sanchez all had an OPS over 900 this spring. The Jays, meanwhile, made low-profile moves. Grichuk, Diaz, Solarte. They have Garcia. They got Granderson. we were hoping to see Stroman start this game. If Stroman was starting, I love when he's a New York boy. He's going to step up against these guys. But Hap looked good this spring. Hap's not a bad pick. I can understand people on both sides. But I'm not making a play on this.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this one as well. I was thinking about the Yankees also have a good bullpen, so they might be good on second half plays. Don't forget about that. Let's see. Some other comments are coming in. These comments are great, and some of them are very, very informative. Let's see. Yes, we're talking about. Okay. Yeah, Trevor Holt likes the Twins. I might like. Mutt Beast. I am on Angels. Very nice, very nice. Twatty Latte says Twins nice offense this year. Yes, I would be leaning Twins as well. I'm going to take it easy on the first day, but here Justin seriously says White Sox is the play. Twatty says White Sox may get 8 today by themselves, so why not a shot with the White Sox team total over, which is just 4. Kobe Valentine, Jays is my best bet of the day. Holy shit.
I like it. I respect it. He's looking for value. We saw Dan Kelly say he's taking all of the home dogs.
Yeah.
I get these plays. I completely understand them, but I'm going to stay off in this spot.
Wow, very interesting. All right, we got another tweet coming in 1 second, but I just want to get finished reading these comments, and then we will get to the second tweet of today's show. Ace Farmer says, I like the Blue Jays today. Wow. Carlos Burrow says the Yanks have the best bullpen. No, they just have don't they have a good bullpen? Yeah, they have a good bullpen this year.
I think they have the best bullpen in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they have they just, all right, I'm scanning, scanning. Some nice comments. We're so busy, we're not even going to get to the nice comments here, and let me just check.
We got the tweet.
Yes, we got the tweet, but we got to get to the comments here as well. We can't break the pace of the show. All right, second tweet of the day from Tony Montana at BookieBeatdown7 says, do you guys think the unpredictability at the start of the season gives the books an advantage, or do you think it gives us an opportunity to get more value with our picks? Well, the answer to that is, unpredictability. The answer to that is both. Right? I mean, basically the answer to that is if you're smart, yes, it gives you an advantage. If you're a fucking moron, no, you're at a disadvantage, right?
It should give us an advantage because we're working together as a team.
Yes.
Whereas the average fan is probably going to lose at the start of the season. But we know that you can't trust favorites early in the season, and we should bet accordingly.
In general, unpredictability is where line betting value comes from, because if the market was perfectly predictable, then the books would have perfect lines and you couldn't beat them at all, right? So the answer to that basically is that, yes, unpredictability, quote unquote, unpredictability is always what gives value in all betting markets, right? But the secondary point to that is that if you're a fucking idiot, no, it's not good for you. You know what I'm saying, Jim? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Although I guess if you're a fucking idiot, you got more things to worry about than how does unpredictability affect your bets in sports betting.
Crossing the street.
Exactly. Cross the street. No, but the answer to that is yes, unpredictability in theory is always where you get your edges from, because if the more
just went yard first pitch.
No way, really.
7 home
very,
runs
very
in
nice.
The preseason. All these people telling me that the fucking spring training doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, wow, very, very nice. First pitch home run, unbelievable. Very, very nice. Awesome. Okay, so yes, so that's the answer. The answer is that unpredictability, whether in the beginning of the season or the end of the season or the middle of the season, is always where your betting value comes from. But it depends on your personal handicapping approaches, whether the type of unpredictability in the beginning of the season is something where you can identify where the market is being inefficient or not. And that's something that you have to look inside of yourself and decide, yes, I have a particular edge in the beginning of the season or not. Me personally, as I've said this many times, I tend to have a much better edge in all sports in the second half of the season, and I showed that last year in MLB as well. But, a lot of times people with very efficient and effective models tend to have their best edges in the beginning of the season. A lot of guys who model, like you talk to the really, the smarter guys there, like Drew Martin, like I'm sure someone like Drew Martin might say that he has his best edges in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Oh, my God.
Jimmy's
Lou Skunt.
Lou Skunt is back. Lou Skunt. Welcome back.
Nice.
Lou
we were talking about you this
Skunt.
morning, Lou Skunt.
Yes. Lou Skunt is
What a
back.
treat.
Thank you very much. We have some nice commenters also coming in. Let me just find and is that guy Oh My Cock? He's commenting here.
Of course he is. Of course, Oh My Cock's in the game.
Yes, and also another a new commenter that I haven't seen before. His name is Hugh. His first name is Hugh. Last name Jerection. Hugh Jerection says it's a long season. Hopefully Pete doesn't have to bust out the Yankees jersey in April. Yes, Mr. Jerection. I am as I am in every sport in every season. I'm usually I'm expecting to have a strong second half of MLB. First half, I'm going to be careful. Middle of the season, where I tend to dip, as I did in college basketball this year, I'm going to be careful, and hopefully I will not need to make superstitious adjustments to my wardrobe to try to change things. Although last year I did that and it worked, so maybe I will do it. But all right, let's move on.
Whatever it takes.
Any other MLB picks you want to give here, Jim?
No, but if we could just touch on these games just very briefly, because they're big games,
Yes.
especially the Astros game. But
Let me tell you what. While Jim does that, I'm going to scan my notes to see some of the first half or second half plays that I was thinking about giving. Go ahead, Jim.
Twins, Orioles, Odorizzi, Bundy. Twins became the first team in Major League history to make the postseason after losing more than 100 games the previous year, 85 and 77. A lot of people that I roll with up in Canada think they're a sneaky play to win it all, but that's just because you can hedge it easily because they're such a big dog. They made a number of offseason moves, all on short team deals. Dozier says this is the year we're all in. We got the pieces in place to win this year. Odorizzi, is he a number one? It's questionable. He looked very good this spring. Obviously, he likes his confidence that this is giving him being the opening day starter. 10 innings, he pitched 0.87 ERA, 0.87 whip. They added Lance Lynn, Fernando Rodney, Zach Duke, and Logan Morrison. The question really is, will Byron Buxton turn into the all-star he's showing flashes of? That's what they need desperately. Sano and Adrianza had big springs. Orioles' biggest problem, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be pitching. 4.97 ERA, fourth worst mark in baseball last year. Bundy turned into the staff ace. He pitched 20 innings this spring and got touched. 7.20 ERA, 1.65 whip. I do not believe that the signings of Cashner and Cobb will make this rotation that much better. We know Britton's out with an Achilles. Brad Brock, it's up to him. Can he be the consistent closer that until Britton comes back? But the Orioles have all these guys on one-year contracts who need to step up. Machado, Jones, Britton, Showalter, and Duquette are also in the same spot. Machado just had a monster spring. I can see both sides, and I'm laying off this game.
Okay, what do you think about? I'm thinking about giving Houston on the second half here. In general, long term, I think there's going to be a span of games where we can fade Hamels, but I think he's going to be okay in this one. I know people are expecting good things, big things from Verlander. I'm not sure we're going to see that in this first game. I'm thinking about Houston on the second half, Jim. What do you think about that?
I think we're going to see big things from Verlander right off the start.
You think so? Okay.
I do, just because he looked absolutely dominant in the spring.
Right.
And
that's why I think we're going to see maybe a less than impressive start here in the first game.
See, I don't feel like that's the case, but I'll tell you what, I'm not entirely sure what either of these guys are going to do, especially Hamels.
Right.
Because he has as much of a chance to throw just a gorgeous game as he does to get lit up. Mm-hmm. We know these teams despise each other, and that's why I think Verlander and Hamels will be on their game. Mm-hmm. We know what happened over the Hurricane Harvey situation when the Rangers wouldn't let the Astros switch weekends. Jim Crane despises Texas. Mm-hmm. I think Verlander is going to be throwing. I think this Houston team looks better than they were last year.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd be afraid to take him on the first half, personally, just because of how good Verlander looked and how he feels. If
Verlander's throwing well, I think he probably goes 8 innings. I'm going to take Houston second half minus 160. That's at Heritage and Bookmaker, and a few other places do have second half lines before the game, and there can be reasons to bet those lines, even though obviously you don't know what the first 5 innings are going to be. But I'm going to take Houston on the second half minus 160. That's another official pick for me, Jimmy the Bag. All right. Again, we're going to ignore all the games from 7 o'clock and later. Any other picks you want to give, Jimmy the Bag?
Just one last thing about Verlander. In 22 innings in the spring, he struck out 24, walked 2, 0.86 whip, 1.64 ERA. We know the Astros smashed lefties. I can't believe who the Rangers brought in: Mike Minor, Doug Fister, Lincecum, Chavez, Cologne. So
why don't you like the Astros here in this game, Jim?
I'm not entirely sure what Hamels is going to do, and with the value that I get, the only way I could make it is a minus 1.5. I do think that's the play, and I might add it this afternoon. Let's see what you guys think. Brian Arpin's on Astros minus 1. Molly Mall says Houston wins easy. Bravada says Verlander not throwing well today. Twatty's on Houston -1.5. I mean, Astros all day. Verlander's just gonna fucking roll, says Trev. You know, I like the Astros here. It was a play that I wanted to make, and I still want to make it. But I just didn't want to jump on too many of these big favorites on the -1.5 line.
Yeah.
And Twatty says Hamill's washed up. Hold on Astros -1.5. I'm going to just take a little bit of time before I jump on this. But it could be a play I make in the next hour or two.
Okay, well, let's move on for MLB. Once again, Jim's official plays, first day of MLB. You know, I really, we joke around here a lot of stuff. But, Jim, I fucking hope you go 6-0 today. I hope you go 6-0. Partially because 2 of those plays are mine as well. But I hope you go fucking 6-0 today,
I did 7 because I added the play.
Oh, right? Which one did you add?
I added the first half.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Jim's official plays. Mets money line -128. Atlanta under 8.5. Atlanta first half under 4.5. KC over 8.5. Cubs -1.5. San Diego money line +108 and the White Sox +126. I'm on 3 plays. Atlanta first half under 4.5. Full game under 8.5. And the Houston second half -160. And my leans would be on the White Sox, at +126. And I did bet them at +143. Other leans that I would have, kind of like King Rail, thinking about Minnesota +1.5 in general. I'm a vaguely high on Minnesota. Don't totally want to bet against Bundy, but I definitely would agree with leaning Minnesota today. Jim, what do you think about that?
I agree. I think that that Minnesota. I would fade Bundy. I would have no fear fading Bundy at this point. We've never seen him in a pressure situation quite like this. He has pitched some big games, but not quite like this. And I think Odorizzi's ready to step up. I was thinking about that play also. I just am uncomfortable. It's going to be cold in Baltimore, and it's in Baltimore. I just
you're taking it easy on the first day. You don't have 15 plays on the first day, go 2-13. All of a sudden, second day of MLB season, you're down 11 units already.
I'm not concerned. I'll make plays when I see that they're the play to make.
Right.
I'm not concerned about volume right now. But what would you get with the Twins right now?
Well, the Twins would be like about +112, and the alternative money line, which is something that I was maybe thinking about taking here. The alternative puck line, I'm sorry, would be the where the hell is that? Where the hell is that in on MLB? Where the hell is that? I can't find it. All right. Anyway, let's just move on, Jim. How about that?
That sounds good. So, and then if we're all comfortable, we missed out on Red Sox Rays and A's Angels. We've kept every other game.
Yes. Okay, so now let's move on to NHL. It's a big card. There's a couple plays that I am liking on the NHL card. Once again, I had a winning day yesterday. I'm up into the low 30s now, Jim. And the play that I think I might be liking today, well, I know I'm definitely liking it, and I bet it, is Buffalo at home against Detroit. Now, both these teams are obviously, well, you could call them dumpster fires. Detroit got a win against Pittsburgh last game. Very nice. But now they're on the road. Jack Eichel's playing better. Buffalo's bringing up some youngsters. This guy Mittelstadt, have you ever heard of that guy? Mittelstadt, he's like he was their first round pick in 2017. It just feels like a spot where Buffalo's going to have some energy here, and Detroit, after the Pittsburgh win, is in a down spot. And I think I'm liking Buffalo here. I'm going to take them on the -1 line. Jimmy the Bag.
I can understand the play. That whole idea of although it did blow up in our Facebook Brooklyn Nets last night, it's just hard to you'd much prefer taking these teams as dogs than as favorites. But I will definitely keep that in mind.
What blew up in our face last night?
Not because I was saying the Brooklyn Nets play.
The Brooklyn Nets. I had them 2 ways, Jim.
Okay, blew up in my face.
Your face, yes.
All right,
no, sorry about that, Chad. All right, yes, So I'm gonna take yes, and Brovada loves the plays, loves the Sabres. Let me just. Okay, Old Munt asking Old Miss asking a big question here. Loose cunt, you have Twitter? Yes, I'm sure he does, and I'm sure it's a vulgar Twitter handle as well. Let's see what else we have. All right, I'm gonna take Buffalo here. I'm gonna take Buffalo -1. I'm also thinking about the team total over on this one, but let me just give the -1 line at Pinnacle -115, and the puck line for Buffalo. Let me just find it. God, I'm going to switch over to my newer computer this afternoon. Let's see, Buffalo. Jim, you didn't look. Okay, here we go. Buffalo plus 249 at Pinnacle as well. So I'm going to take Buffalo -1, -115, and plus 249. And I also think I'm going to take the team total over. Let me just see if it's a 2.5, which it definitely should be. The Buffalo team total over 2.5. Wow, I'm definitely on that one at Pinnacle. Buffalo team total over 2.5 -125 at Pinnacle. That's an official line right there at Buffalo over. Team total over 2.5 -125. So I'm liking that one, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hammer all these games this afternoon. I've got my page set up, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get through them all.
Yes. All right. Now, while I'm giving my picks, why don't you just scan if there's any comments that jump out for you, Jimmy the Bag, just to let me know what they are, because there's a couple of other NHL games that I want to get to and give picks on. Okay, Jimmy the Bag.
Sure.
All right, let me just see. I love this guy news. This guy. Oh, Miss J says at Hans. Oh my cock. I'm agree. I love his name. I just love reading his name. Miss J, what's up? Shout out to Miss J. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Anthony L says New Jersey plus 105. Now this is an interesting one. This is a game that I was thinking about taking the Pens. New Jersey is a very, very small home underdog against Pittsburgh, and as we know, Jimmy the Bag, Pittsburgh lost a massive road favorite against Detroit, right? They met recently at Pitt, and New Jersey won. So Pittsburgh is not really dominating like they have been earlier on in the year.
No, and it's not a good sign.
I'm thinking that Pitt might be a good play here, though. I understand why people would like New Jersey, but Pitt, they just lost a massive road favorite against Detroit. 3 games ago, they lost at home to New Jersey. This has got to be a game where they're gonna rally around and try to get a win. You would think, right? No, Jim? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Okay, all right.
We should focus on this.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm not going to. I don't believe I'm going to take Pittsburgh here.
Are you down on Pittsburgh in general? I know you haven't done your research for today, but based on the last time you did your research, what were your thoughts on Pittsburgh?
I think that, like the Cavaliers, they don't care that much. They just need to be in that top 3 spot. They don't want to end up the final wild card, so they can't just lose out. But I think that they're a team that can turn it on when they need to, and I think they'll be just fine. G-Man Hag says this is a motivated Penguins team. I certainly wouldn't want to be on New Jersey, but I don't know if the way the Pens are playing on the road, I could take them here.
Yeah. I don't like it either necessarily, but it is now suddenly a low line. You know what I mean? This is not like, oh, the Pens on the road at -220. Do I want that one? No, we're only looking at -125 here. So I'm gonna assume that they are gonna step it up, and if they don't, I'll eat a loss here. But I'm gonna take the Pens -1 money line. Part of that will be -125 at Pinnacle and the Greek, and the puck line part of that will be plus 221 at Pinnacle. So I'm taking the Pens -1 as well, and the team total over on that one might be worth a shot. Also, that's 3.5 plus 127. All right, I'm gonna hold off on that one. I'm just gonna take the Pens, and I might throw on the Pens first period by the evening show. All right, so I've thrown that one on as well. Also, Jimmy the Bag, I know you haven't done your research for today's games, but this question, I think you have probably can answer this one. What the fuck is up with the Dallas Stars, man? They got a win last time. Now they're a big road underdog, right, at Minnesota. Was that fluky win? Was that win against Philly fluky? Are they a team that you want to fade going forward?
I'm not sure what to make of them right now. I'm happy they're losing, but I'm confused by how they're playing, and I'm gonna need to put more time into it, because just looking at this line, you're getting a plus 140s,
right? And the other issue is that the spot. You know, as much as you might say that spots don't matter with a team with bad character like Dallas, the spot does favor Dallas because they are technically still alive in the playoff hunt. They're pretty much going to have to win every game to make the playoffs. And Minnesota, they're fighting for the third spot in the division or whatever, so it's not that big of a deal for them. You know, I mean, I'm sure they want to win, but it just feels like the Minnesota's right now firmly in we're looking at the playoffs mode, and Dallas, if they have any character at all, is thinking we have to win out to try to make the playoffs.
You're right, and just looking at it and thinking about these two teams, I find it a very tricky situation.
And Minnesota's though off of a big loss to Nashville, though, so maybe are they like, well, we have to prove ourselves that we don't suck, or do they just not care? They're like, fine, we lost to Nashville, we'll get them in the playoffs. We don't care about this game. Do they care about the loss to Nashville, and how much of a dumpster fire is Dallas right now? Tough questions.
Dallas stepping up was something that we're just thankful for that dressing room. I can't imagine what the vibe is like in there. It can't be good. So thinking about that, I think that Minnesota should step up and smash them. They're very good at home. The fans care a lot about beating Dallas just because it used to be Minnesota. The players don't give a fuck. But, these are very tough questions where I would need more time to kind of go over the stats and break the game down before
All right.
continue.
Thankfully, this game we will be able to cover much more in depth, and I'm sure Jimmy will have a very, very educated opinion on this one. In the 6 o'clock show, 6 o'clock Eastern, we will get to that one. And then the only other NHL game I wanted to highlight was Edmonton-Vancouver. Vancouver is, starting to score a little bit, right? They've brought up, Gaudette, and he is another young player with offensive talent. Edmonton, we know they're starting to score as well. Vancouver, off of 2 straight wins, is a plus 200 dog, and I'm thinking over here. Once again, why not another over with Edmonton? I've been cashing with Edmonton overs recently. Vancouver looks like they do have the ability to put up some goals now, and why would not like the over in this one, Jim? Just in general. I mean, Vancouver
is it Markstrom versus Talbot?
I believe it is, yes. And Markstrom's been okay, hasn't he?
I don't know. He's been a disappointment. I hate these goalies that are AHL goaltender of the year that can't take it to the next level. He's been the goaltending's been very disappointing in Vancouver. I would have to look at his numbers over the last couple weeks.
Well, I'm going to take it. It's 6 at plus money market wide, but Heritage does have 5.5. Once again, this is why you want to line shop at SBRodds.com. I'm going to take the Heritage line over 5.5 minus 120. That's the line at Heritage right now. And I'm also thinking about the first period over as well. Let me see what that one is. Edmonton, Vancouver here. First period over minus 107, and I'll take that one as well. First period over 1.5 minus 107. That's the current line at Pinnacle, and that's another play that I'm going to give Jimmy the bag.
Yeah, I think that you're in good spots. Quite a lot of people, not the first Kilter Chimp mentioning it, but I've heard from a few people that they think that Columbus is extremely low-hanging fruit tonight in hockey, and that could be. That could be, and I'll take more time looking into it. I know that Calgary's is pretty much dressing an AHL forward unit at this point, so I will definitely look into that game.
Okay, yes, Kevy K liking the Edmonton. I love this spot for Edmonton. And G-Man Hag says Oilers Canucks a big pass in every way. I'm thinking the over is a good play, and a lot of people, some people saying that they like the over on that one as well. And I guess that will be about it for NHL. Let me see. Yeah, some other interesting stuff. The Columbus Calgary game I did not look at because it did not have an overnight line, but we will look at that one. Dallas Minnesota game, very interesting. And Jimmy the Bag, I can guarantee you will give an educated opinion on that game. Jimmy the Bag, of course, was the first one I heard to tip us off that Calgary sucks. I faded them many times, including one of the best plays of the month, taking the LA Kings recently. I feel bad because when you were out, I feel like there were a bunch of plays that you definitely would have been on that would have cashed. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you had been here those days, you would be pushing 50 units right now, Jim.
Yeah, it's just such an intense job capping these games every day.
You need a break.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't hate
it. And Arizona, after the win yesterday, is once again a massive underdog, now in a back-to-back against L.A. I'm sure we'll get Jimmy the Bag's educated opinion on that as well. And that's it for NHL. So once again, I'm just giving, as of right now, again, we'll do a lot more NHL handicapping in the afternoon show. I'm on the Buffalo team total over 2.5 and Buffalo -1, Pens -1, and the Vancouver-Edmonton game. First period over 1.5, and the full game over 5.5 -120. That's the line at Pinnacle. And then the NBA, only 2 games had overnight lines, and there is one bet that I did make. I did take a shot with the under in the Chicago-Miami game. Whiteside is back for Miami. Whiteside is supposed to be back for Miami. Jimmy the Bag.
What's the total?
Well, I bet it at 211. It's now it's now down to 209 or 209.5. The Greek does still have 209.5. Damn it. I wanted to get 210, 211, but I will for now throw that one on there. I'll throw the Miami game under 209.5 -110. If that one lands on 210 or 211, I'll be pretty pissed, even though I'll win my bet at 211. I hit the opener, but I'm going to take the under 209.5. First half under might be worth a shot as well. Let me just see where that one would be. Yeah, 102.5. That is tempting as hell as well. Definitely leaning first half under as well. All right, I will Man, no, you know what? I won't double up on it. For now, I'll just take the full game under, although I know this line's going to be lower by the time. You know what? I will take it now. I'll take it now, and if I decide I don't like it, I will hedge out of it, and I might be able to get a middle on that one. I'm going to take the Miami first half under. 102.5 at Intertops. Intertops still has 102.5 minus 110, so I'll take that one. I'm doubling up on the unders.
Molly Mall is with you on that.
Yeah. The unders in the Miami-Chicago game. I'm definitely taking that one. And then the other games, Golden State back to being a favorite. We'll handicap that in the 6 o'clock show. Other interesting shit going on here. And Indiana-Sacramento is the only other game that had an overnight line, and I do not have an opinion on that one. So as of right now, can we wrap it up? Jimmy the Bag.
We can, but just a little food for thought when we move into these games and study them all afternoon. King Rail on the Oklahoma City San Antonio game says Aldridge probable, expecting OKC to step it up tonight in tempo and run the floor. Pistons won last 4 or 5 at home. Pistons is the play tonight, and they finally have a point guard to move the ball.
Okay, very, very interesting. Okay, once again, because of the whenever there's a ton of shit to cover, we don't get to as many comments as we would normally like to, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Your comments are super awesome and very, very informative and help us out a lot, and we read them, but we don't necessarily get to identify them and discuss them as much as we would like to in the game, in the times where we have fewer games. But okay, Richie Incognito asking about the Jets puck line. Let me just quickly look at that one. Yeah, that's a tricky one, Jimmy the Bag. Jimmy the Bag will look at that one. Winnipeg Jets, a big road favorite against Chicago. Chicago a dumpster fire, but I'm not totally convinced that I would want the Winnipeg here. I was thinking about a shot with the under on that one, actually. The under 6 on that one. I'm sure Jimmy the Bag will give an informed analysis of that game in the 6 o'clock show, Jim.
Yeah, and you're still getting plus 170 with the Jets puck line.
Are you? Wow, the money line is minus 170. The puck line is, wow, look at that. Yeah,
I mean, you're still getting, but I hear you. I just reading that, I need to look at the situation a little more, but I think there's still enough value if you like the Jets there. That I need to look more at the situation.
And you don't trust Forsberg at all, though, do you?
I don't.
think he's supposed to be in goal. Yeah.
I don't trust Chicago's goaltending at all.
Yes. All right. What a show, Jimmy the Bag. We covered the first day of baseball. We covered a massive NHL card. We even touched on NHL and college basketball. We even addressed 2 tweets. We even got to a couple of NBA games, Jim. We covered a lot of shit in this 1 hour, Jimmy the Bag.
Cubs are up 3-0 after the first, so that minus 1.5 is looking nice at this point. But we know these things can change fast.
Yes.
Let's have a Giants season. I know we are all working together, and I'm so excited to get to sit beside Pete and work with the chat.
We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time for the evening show.